Stories from the sky.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Enough is enough! I have had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane! Everybody strap in!
Oh, yeah! Well, it has been a busy month so far. In the last even 3 weeks, all kinds of big stories. I'm going to get to one of the most nightmarish situations you could possibly find yourself in. Among the, let's be honest, handful of fairly nightmarish situations you could find yourself in while flying. There are a couple of like real moments, and I'll get to those in a second. But before I do, I saw this and thought I'd ask you.
Okay.
What, Kim, do you think are the best passports to own now in 2023? In other words, ranking nations from most powerful to weakest only by passport evaluation. Okay, so this has to do with visas, like where you don't need a visa because you've got that passport,
right? And how many countries you can travel to.
Thank you. Like there are
restrictions,
visa-free travel opportunities, taxation of citizens, dual citizenship possibilities. That's another thing that they factor into the world's best passports. Perception, so it's kind of like one of those things, and personal freedom. These are the top countries in 2023, the best passports. And let me give you a clue.
Okay.
America ain't one of them. Yes, U.S. citizens.
Interesting.
You and I do not have anything close to the world's best passports.
It turns out that I have 2 passports.
You have 2 passports.
Is an American passport. I'm not a CIA double agent, no. The other is a Luxembourg passport because I am a dual citizen.
You're a dual citizen of America and Luxembourg? Please explain.
So my grandmother, her ancestors hailed from Luxembourg.
Wow.
And I guess when people left in the late 1800s or around 1900, if you left Luxembourg, they stripped your citizenship away. So in the last few years, Luxembourg has done this repatriation thing where if you can prove that your family came from there, and you have to show all the birth certificates and death certificates and marriage certificates, if you can prove your ancestry, they will give you and all your children and all their children citizenship in Luxembourg, which means citizenship in the EU, which means when my kids go to college, they might get a really good discount on college in the EU. Or free healthcare when I retire.
I know, that's very cool.
Yeah. And so I'm a citizen of Luxembourg, and my kids are too. Not my husband, though. They don't let the husbands in. They have to learn the language and take a test. But I didn't have to do that.
No kidding. This is interesting. And let me tell you, it is quite relevant to what we are asking, because Luxembourg indeed is the formerly top spot, now number 2 spot this year. All right, so Luxembourg is there, but there is one country that is more desirable from the standpoint of passport in the visa-free travel privileges, as I mentioned, the low taxation, the dual citizenship possibilities, perception, and personal freedom. There's one above Luxembourg, but Luxembourg did take it last year.
Okay.
I'll give you a clue. Middle East. It's in the Middle East.
Oh, it's got to be the UAE.
It is the UAE. Yeah. Wow, that's really impressive, Kim McAllister.
Thank you very much.
That is so well done. The United Arab Emirates, #1 passport to have in 2023, followed by Luxembourg. And the number 3 position is pretty guessable. I have to. Do you want to guess it?
Oh,
All
are
right.
you gonna give me a continental hint like you did with number 1?
I will give you a hint.
Okay.
Do you want like a real easy hint, or do you want like a
No,
sort
make
of
it
hint?
tough. Make it tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
This country is a country in which they speak a Latin-based language. Latin-based would be French, German, Spanish, Italian. These are all Latin-based.
Can I say Portugal? Is that Latin-based?
Yes, it is Latin-based. It is not the right answer.
No.
Now I will give you but Portugal, to be fair to Kim, very good guess, because it is number 5. So
Okay,
that's
okay.
very, very strong. Yeah. So, but the actual answer, this is a place that, here's another, I think, good clue. They speak multiple languages in this country. Latin-based languages, multiple languages are spoken by all of the population, or by different chunks of the population. And the location of this country is the reason that they speak all of these different languages.
So it would be Germany.
Oh, close. Germany is right behind Portugal. The answer we're looking for, Switzerland, everybody.
Oh.
Switzerland. Yes, Switzerland
Okay.
is the,
Okay.
yeah. But I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. You got UAE. You were an actual passport holder
I am a Luxembourger. That's right.
of the country of Luxembourg.
Did you know that Luxembourg is the last Grand Duchy government? So it's the Duke is kind of like the king
Right.
in Luxembourg. So it's the Duke and the Duchess. It's a Grand Duchy.
Wow.
We have processes and protocols and standards.
That means they do have processes, protocols, and
That's right.
standards.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very impressive. Well, good knowledge, too.
Yeah.
Now, to news of travel to one of those countries with your passport, doing it through the sky. As I mentioned, it's been a very active few weeks in the sky, and the nightmarish situation to which I was referring before happened in midair when a plane door opened when a traveler grabbed the emergency exit lever.
What in the world?
The mid-air emergency exit flinging open is something that I thought you couldn't do. I didn't
No,
think
did you get sucked right out of the plane?
well, I also thought it wouldn't open just for reasons involving pressure. But as you'll see in this video, which we will play for you now, passengers were terrified, hospitalized once the plane landed safely. And during this incident, it looked like this. Take a peek. It's a
The wind in the face.
yeah. There's also, I believe, Kim, if you go down in that piece, there's also another. There are another few pictures you can here. I'll see if I can show you the intense moments where all of this happened. Can you see these now? Do you see the? Oh, there's the people being taken to the hospital. Do you see that or not? No.
No, but I can see a plane. There's a plane.
Here we go. Do you see it now? No, you don't. Okay.
Just a
This is-
plane.
This is
It's a
why
plane with the
I'm
door
not
open.
trusted with anything. Mark, we don't see it. All right. As usual, I thought I could do this and I can't. This is why I need Tony or Albert or you to squire me through this process. So I'm sorry.
All right.
I will.
Let me see what I can bring up here. Hold on.
Okay, this is on the Asiana Airlines flight right before landing. There's also a video from behind, if you can find it, Kim. I know that I'm asking you sort of to cobble this together in the moment, and there's a bunch of pictures. Essentially, the pictures that I was going to show you the door open. You saw that already. This is on the ground, and 12 passengers were sent to the hospital. So people were terrified by this to the point that they had to be taken to the hospital. Now, the plane had almost 200 people on board, 194, 48 teenage athletes who were going to compete in a national sports event. And you saw the wind whipping through. A 44-year-old passenger said that the door was opened and it was utter chaos.
Wow.
And people
here's the video
appeared
from behind.
Okay, here's the video from behind. Yeah, take a look. This is. I thought the plane was blowing up. I thought I was going to die like this, he said. It was chaos with people close to the door appearing to faint one by one. Flight attendants calling out for doctors on board.
Mayhem.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Children quivered and cried in panic. Quivered is a ding word. By the way, that ding sounds very much like the ding you hear on board a flight. Yes, yeah, all right. The plane did land safely. And once again, I believe the person who opened the door was taken into custody. But I don't see any more on the guy who actually opened it.
What was the thought process there?
Male in his 30s, detained. He opened the door when the plane was still about 650 feet above the ground. Maybe that's the reason that the pressure wasn't sufficient to actually.
Photos.
Yeah, those are the photos I wanted to show you. People being loaded into ambulances upon landing.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty scary. Pretty brutal.
I wonder what the reason was. I mean, was the guy just a nutso or what?
Sounded, I mean, I don't know, but they say he detained for questioning, guy in his 30s. Yeah, it sounds, I don't know, nutso. Or, I mean, it could be alcohol. I mean, it could be the.
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's alcohol involved.
Could be, yeah, maybe.
I mean, it sounds like one of those questions my son would ask. What would happen if I opened that lever?
Right.
What would happen if I push on this?
All boys, most boys ask those questions.
And then so I say, don't do that.
Right. And you explain to them what will happen. I was always told, we'll all be killed if you do that. So,
you'll get sucked out of the plane. Don't do it.
I wasn't asked ever. I didn't ever ask the question that I recall anyway. What would happen if I did that? What would happen if somebody opened the door mid-flight? I always asked it like
You're
that.
a little smarter than mine. Mine would
I
be
don't know
like,
about that. Yeah,
I know exactly what he's thinking. What would
didn't
happen
quite
if
have
I
the destructive
fill in
gene.
the blank? Yeah.
United and Alaska Airlines pilots were forced to abort a landing at full tilt. It happened at SFO.
What?
This was to avoid a close call with a Southwest jet that was taxiing in the middle of both runways. 2 airliners aborting landings at SFO. Pilots spotted a Southwest Airlines jet taxiing across the runways on which the other planes had been cleared to land.
Dude,
what?
Stay in your lane.
An air traffic controller, we can laugh about it now. But at the time, it was brutal.
Why are you yelling?
Pick a
The
lane
Federal
and stay in it,
Aviation,
pal. Yeah.
the FAA said that the Southwest plane cleared the runways when the other planes passed directly overhead, and the decision to abort the landings was precautionary. They play it down.
Just in
They
case.
they looked into the events and they determined that the appropriate steps were taken to ensure safe operations. Okay, well, I mean, the NTSB is not investigating the matter any further. We're showing you the pictures right now at SFO. Yeah, it's not a.
You can see how that went down.
Yeah, here it is. You can see, right. So the Southwest flight, look at it.
Yeah.
It's right there taxiing across the runways that were going to be landed upon.
United Jets coming in. He's like, there's someone on my runway.
Yeah. Wow. That is not a good scene.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, the pilots are so cool though. They have that pilot speak.
Yeah.
It's right. Like
United 357 Heavy, we've got a
Looks like a Southwest flight on our runway.
Roger, United 357 Heavy, circle round.
Is it the co-pilot who's like, oh my God? No.
Yeah, you want somebody on board to go, oh my God.
He's cussing next to him, you know.
I told you the story about being on that Mexicana flight years ago, and they asked me if I wanted to fly in the cockpit with the pilots.
No.
And then I put on the headphones, and so I'll share with you just the kind of, you know, inflection point in the whole thing. And how I ended up in the cockpit and everything is not important. But they asked me, hey, would you like, yeah, exactly. This is pre 9/11, exactly. So I'm up there with the pilots, and it's kind of cool. I'd never been up there before, and and I'm sitting in the jump seat, I guess, or the seat behind them, and they had me put on the things with the, you know, the headphones with the mic, you know,
right,
and I'm listening to them, and they have a pilot and co-pilot, and he's doing that thing where he's turning the instrumentation based on coordinates or whatever that stuff is, the altimeter or whatever that he's being told by the tower. And the tower says,
your Mexicana 48 jumbo, you're going to go 655.
It goes, you know, Mexicana's going to 659. And I'm thinking, he didn't say 659, dude. He said 655. But the tower didn't say anything. This is like an hour, like an hour into the flight. I felt like we're not quite right on approach, but I felt like it was important information. You know, it wasn't like just, yeah. But I'm thinking, and of course I'm a worrier, so I'm going, oh my God, what if that's like important information? He said 655, and this guy said 659.
Are you going to correct the pilot?
Right, and that's what I'm thinking. Do I correct him and go, excuse me, I think he said, and I'm not sure. But look, we landed safely, and you know, maybe I was wrong, but it was
okay.
It was a full 30-minute sweat though about those coordinates or about that altimeter reading or whatever it was.
You want to hear my airplane story quickly?
Yeah.
I used to, when I started at Station X, I was doing traffic in the KGO jetcopter and also in the fixed wing aircraft.
Wow.
And so I was flying with a pilot. I was just doing the traffic. So I'd look out the window and I'd write down the traffic, and then I'd, you know, do a little 10-second hit, 880 northbound stacked up between point A and B. And we're over, I want to say somewhere in Castro Valley. And we used to take off from the Hayward Airport. And the pilot looks at me and he goes, hey, how long has that light been on? I don't know. Is that important? He goes, yeah, that's important.
Oh my God, that's great.
What's the light do? Well, it's the battery light. I said, oh. He goes, so we got to go land. So we landed at a completely different airport, like somewhere near Highway 4 in Concord, at the Concord Airport.
That
they had to come
magic.
Get us because something was wrong with them. We landed fine, but apparently, you know, if there was something wrong with that light or the battery, we needed to set it down right at that moment. But like you said, he was so calm. He was like, hey, how long's that light been on?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we should probably land it then.
We got to put that baby down.
How would you handle this? Yeah. We could try ignoring it, sir.
Yeah, it was really, it's really amazing how those guys keep their cool. It's terrific, you know. But we're not done. I'll finish off with this.
Okay.
A shocking moment as a pilot aborts the landing 147 feet above the airport runway and pulls off a dangerous stunt on the presidential airplane of Argentina.
What? Oh.
It's a $20 million aircraft, apparently. It's a new presidential airplane. And the plane was flown from Miami to Buenos Aires. The director of the president's logistic unit flew it. And when he aborted the landing, he pulled this bizarre maneuver. He stopped just short of the landing, and then he ascends quickly and veers the plane to the left before he flew the plane around the city and landed. And it's thought that he kind of did this as a stunt. It's a new plane. He's the top dog. And he was testing his new toy, is what they're thinking.
Oh.
And so he pulled this off. And if you're watching on YouTube, Kim will show it to you now. You can see he's about to land and he decides to pull back up. And he banks hard left.
Oh.
Yeah. He
Let's see
tilted
what
it
this baby can do.
to the left, exactly, for a few seconds. Then he straightened it out. And now everybody's laughing and they think it's so funny, but it was not viewed as funny by a lot of people who are in administrative positions in Argentina. The maneuver was quite illogical, said Carlos Rinzelli, who's the aeronautic consultant. And the plane should have landed with a normal approach in an airport that is congested and on a day when weather conditions are not the best. He should never have tried this. They veered too low.
Look how low he came.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And it's wet. I mean, it was raining.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, you could like, just toss something to the ground and it wouldn't explode. That's really low.
He was told to keep the airplane at 3,000 feet above the ground while they worked to clear another aircraft at the airport.
I'm going to say that's not 3,000 feet.
No, he's saying, I understood it was a free descent. We're maintaining at 2,300 feet, but that's even lower than 2,300 feet. The president, Alberto Fernandez, has not commented on the incident. But that is the new presidential plane in Argentina, and they're not too happy.
Apparently it works.
Yeah, it's a go.
This is a word from the Lord, and he's not happy.
And the Lord's not happy either. So that's never good. But that's it. Some close calls and a few anecdotes, and we wrap up Stories from the Sky.
This has been Stories from the Sky. The captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, and you are now free to
Give me
move
that
about the cabin.
Luxembourg passport, meantime. Yeah.
We have processes.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.